Hey everyone, this is Eric with Tech Utah, and I'm redoing this video because the first one I uploaded apparently didn't have any sound. So I have a little girl, she's 8 months old and loves to crawl around on my floor. She loves to play around with my cables, and I didn't realize that my condenser mic had been unplugged at the time. I wasn't paying attention to the sound levels, so hopefully this one turns out a lot better. So in this video, I want to just go over a PowerShell script that I've created. And I did use ChatGPT 4 code interpreter to build this over the last few weeks. As a managed IT provider, IT professional, we use a lot of different tools. And some of those tools are scripts. They can be VB scripts, PowerShell scripts, batch files, whatever. We use a lot of tools within Windows, ping, traceroute, whatever, to achieve our goal of fixing whatever the problem is. Now, one of the things that I've always wanted, and I've been able to achieve this to some degree with other pieces of software that, for one reason or another, just were not as convenient for me. Now, I decided a little while ago when Code Interpreter really kind of came out, and I started learning a little bit better how to use it to start seeing how far I could push PowerShell. And I knew PowerShell could do a lot of things, and I found out over the last few weeks a lot more things it could do, how it interfaces with the system. So this PowerShell script I'm going to show you is for a Windows-based system. It is mobile, and you can put it on a thumb drive, take it with you, and use it to help you diagnose systems. So this video is geared towards those IT professionals or those aspiring to become IT professionals to have a tool with you that gives you kind of central access to what you need to diagnose a system, gather information, whatever it is you need to do. So I call it TEK Master, whatever. That's the name of my company. So TEK is part of the name of my company. And so let's just dive into it. So the script, this is just the script itself. It is pretty lengthy. I've got a GitHub. I'll put a link into the YouTube video for it so you can go take a look at it. It's designed so that when you first run it, it's going to create a directory structure. For most PowerShells, you can right-click on them, go run with PowerShell, go into a PowerShell terminal, run it from there. I'm going to run it from here for right now. Okay, so it gives you this interface, and it creates a series of 4 different folders. 3 of these folders for the different tabs in here that deal with different items you might want to get to. So you have web shortcuts, scripts, software, and a folder I call form tools, and I'll get into that here in a minute. So the first one is your PowerShell scripts. I am going to modify this as it is designed. This particular tab is designed specifically for PowerShell scripts. And what it is, this would be a collection of PowerShell scripts that are under the scripts folder. Right now there's obviously nothing there. We just started this program for the first time. So to make this easy, I didn't want to have to be drilling down into this folder to put PowerShell scripts in here. So what I made it so you can just drag and drop those PowerShell scripts in there. Okay. Oops. It automatically populates the scripts folder with those, moves them over, creates the titles for them. If you have a title and description commented at the very beginning in the first 2 lines, it will add the comment or the description down here so you know what the script does. So you can do this, and each of these tabs has some functionality, and I'll go through some of the other tabs here in just a second. But so you have the ability of selecting multiple scripts. You can right-click and run those, or just click Run down here, and it'll run them. If you need to run them in Run as Administrator on all of them, you can do that, or you can right-click and Run as Administrator. Okay, you can delete them, run them individually, whatever. You get some options there. Same thing with Install Software. You have the ability of just dragging and dropping one file at a time. I've tried doing multiple files. I haven't quite got that functionality in there yet. So, and again, you can select multiple. If you take your finger off the control and right click, it'll just reselect one. But hold the control down, you can run, delete, run as administrator. And it runs them in sequence. So it'd run like the 7-zip installer, the Blender installer. 7-zip is first, Blender second, handbrake next. Anyway, so with the web shortcuts, it's a little same thing, same stuff. You have the same options, except we're going to drag some of these in here. Get a few of these things that I like to have quick shortcuts to, in case I need to get to them. And I've got a plethora of others. These are just some examples. Okay, and again, you can select multiple web shortcuts. You can right-click, open those in a web browser all at once. You do have an option down here for new. You can actually come in here and type in a web address, and it will add it to the list. Okay, so and again, you have the ability to delete. It'll remove them off there and remove them from the directory as well. So for the PowerShell script and install software tabs, you obviously have the description box here. It's not going to put anything in for the software, the install software tab. Not yet. I'm not sure if I want to try building in the functionality of giving it the ability to go into the metadata on a file to try and pull that. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But you do have the option of command line arguments. So I know some PowerShell scripts you can put a command line arguments in, and then hit run and it'll run it. You can permanently turn on run as administrator, so anything you run will just be run as administrator. Okay, so that's the main part of the form. It is resizable down to a minimum size, so pretty slick that way. The tools menu right now is not populated. This would be more like specialty tools that you need to be able to get to, your favorites if you want. These are all populated through the forms tool folder. So anything you put in here, you put it in here, restart the program, it'll populate that tools menu. I'm gonna maybe see if I can set it up to dynamically populate. I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that, but let's say we want to drop some stuff in here. So I'm going to go to my scripts here. We're gonna grab some folders here. Drop that in there. We're going to restart this. Come back down here to the master folder, run that again. And now we have a drop-down menu with some subfolders, okay, and some of my tools. And looks like we got some redundancy there. I'll have to delete some of those. So anyway, so you can populate this with folders. It's designed to run executables, MSIs, script files, and if I'm not mistaken, even some web shortcuts. I don't think I have those in there, but maybe not. I'm not sure. But it will run PowerShell scripts. Oh, hey, the sub menu actually worked on that one. That's awesome. The logs one doesn't pull anything up because there's nothing in the logs. So you can drop tools into this folder, organize it by folder names, and it will populate this so you get access to some quick tools. One of the, I'll have to put that one in there. One of the ones I'm going to be doing a video on here is my network diagnostic tool. So it pulls it up in front. And so you can run your PowerShell scripts from here if you want. I find it useful. Now, I have had some feedback in a couple places where I posted about this, where people were like, give me a use case scenario. And I know there's different levels of IT. You know, you got IT departments, you know, and most of what they do with PowerShell, in my experience, has been just through automation, you know, whether it's on servers or whatever. That's fine. That's totally fine. I am a managed service provider, and so I do a lot of automation. Don't get me wrong. I'm kind of like, you know, a network admin at a company times however many companies I have. And so I'm watching multiple networks, so I do rely heavily on automation, but I do find myself still going to clients I don't have on retainer, and I need access to a lot of the tools that I would have through my RMM. And so I actually thought this would be a lot nicer to have. I do have a thumb drive. I have a lot of tools on that thumb drive, and I thought it would be really nice to be able to have quick access to those tools. I can plug a thumb drive in, run the PowerShell script, or run a batch file, or even convert this to an executable. So that's something that I found very useful. I didn't realize PowerShell could do this. In fact, let me show you guys what I mean here. I'll see if I've got it. Yeah, so we're going to drop this right here. Okay, so this is a batch file I created that all you have to do is drag your PowerShell script on it and it creates an executable. And the executable runs like any other program, doesn't even bring up a console, and so gives you full functionality, a full exe functionality. It does kind of bypass some of the issues of maybe they don't have the right PowerShell version installed or whatever. I don't know if this will run on Windows 7 or before, or Windows 8 or before. I'm not really concerned about that. Honestly, if you're on Windows 7 or Windows 8 still, you should probably look at getting an upgrade. So I'll put this converter out there too. It's really not that big of a deal. Honestly, it's literally just this. It's just running the PowerShell command, and we're importing the PS2 exe module, invoking it, input file as a variable, command line variable, with the dash no console. Basically says don't include the console with it. So, and you can do that with other PowerShell scripts. You know, you can do that if it's set up right. You can just drop any of your PowerShell scripts in there to create an executable. So, kind of makes it convenient. Then you're not having to worry about typing out PowerShell and into a terminal or whatever, or even right-clicking. You just double-click it. Makes it easy. Anyway, I hope this was informative. I hope you guys find this useful. I would love feedback. If there's a feature you think would be cool to have in something like this, would love to hear it. If you get a chance to look at the Git, look at the code, I get it. It might look a little messy. You know, I don't claim to be a coder or a professional scripter. I mean, I understand a lot of it. I use Code Interpreter on this, and it was a bit of finagling to get Code Interpreter to develop each section of the code, to adjust it, to get it to troubleshoot a lot of stuff. It was a lot of fun, though. I did probably I think I only spent a week and a half developing this, along with my other scripts. And I would say something like this, if I were to dive into it, would have taken me months to develop. So very cool stuff. I love using ChatGPT to develop these scripts. So anyway, I will get this up and hopefully you enjoyed it, and check out my other scripts. Talk to you later.